You are watching Sammy, the Interviewing Toucan, made possible by the Indiana Young Readers Center. Hey, everybody, I'm Sammy, and I'm here today with Sandra Mitchell. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Tammy.
It's so good to see you. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. How are you doing?
I'm great. You know, you and I have talked before. It's so good to see you again. We have so much to talk about today, so we'll just dive right in.
All right.
So, Sandra, tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to Indiana.
Well, I am a 100% Hoosier author from the very beginning. I grew up on the east side of Indianapolis, and now I live on the south side of Indianapolis. I've never lived anywhere but Indiana, although I did have a brief stint in the military when I was in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, but I still had Indiana in my heart.
Oh, of course, of course. Once you've got Indiana in your heart, it's really hard to get it out.
It really is.
So before we get too far in, I just wanted to congratulate you on winning the Indiana Authors Award.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
It was huge. I was so excited.
Well, tell us a little bit about what it felt to win the award. You won it for this book, All the Things We Do in the Dark, and you won the young adult category. Did they
Yes.
call you? Was it like winning the Nobel Prize? What was it like?
Um, they did call me. They did call me. I had an email to let me know that somebody was going to call me, and then I had a phone call, and I got to talk to so many people. I got to talk to Mrs. Glick, who is one of the people who set up the awards and created the awards. It was so exciting for me because when I first saw those awards, when they very first started, I thought, I want to win that. I want to win that really, really badly because I am a Hoosier author. I have been here my entire life. I've never moved away. And I really, really wanted it. And so when they called to tell me that I had won, I was shocked and I cried and I laughed and there was probably dancing and nobody wants to see the dancing. But I guarantee you that there were all kinds of celebrations going on in my house. It really means a lot to me. And it's interesting because the Glicks who fund that award, they actually have lots of different houses all around Indianapolis. A lot of them are for people who are impoverished. And so I actually grew up in Glick apartments on the east side of Indianapolis. So
Oh.
it really meant a lot to me to win.
Oh my gosh, Sandra, that's so amazing. You know, and I had no idea that the winners got to talk to Mrs. Glick. That's really very fun.
It
Really
was
cool.
very exciting. It was very exciting. She was just so lovely. And
Oh,
it really meant a lot to me. I got to tell her that I grew up in Glick apartments, and that meant a lot to her. So that was
oh, I bet. That's wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about the book. I know that it's a young adult novel,
yes.
and I know that it's kind of scary and it deals with some kind of serious themes.
Yeah, it does. All the things we do in the dark is about a young woman who was raped when she was young, which is an experience that I had. And now that she is a teenager, that part of her background is affecting things. She's has a crush on a girl for the first time. She's trying to navigate, a weird relationship with her best friend because it's changed and she's not quite sure why. And she discovers the body of a murdered girl in the woods. And she just has this flashback moment and remembers what it was like, how overwhelming it was after she was assaulted, and how the police were, there were so many police and collecting evidence, and just how, scary and overwhelming it was. And she decides that she doesn't want that to happen to this girl. So she decides that she is going to solve the murder herself.
Wow, that's so
Big, right?
yes, that's the right word for it. It is so big, and I must say, I haven't read the whole book, but I started flipping through it, and the first pages, gosh, you just dive right in, you know?
Yes, it's one of those books that I had wanted to write for a very long time. And I had to wait until I was ready inside myself to write that book, because the assault that's in the book that I open with, it's what happened to me. And part of the reason I did that was because I didn't want to create another sexual assault to be entertainment.
Right.
And I had told my story before, so I thought that it was a good stepping off point. And there are lots and lots of books that are really incredible in young adult that discuss, rape and sexual assault and the aftermath, but it's usually like right as it happens, we don't have a lot of books that talk about the fact that survivors survive. We keep going on, and that experience colors so many things as we grow up. So that's what I really want. I wanted to write the book that 16-year-old me needed.
Oh, Sandra. Well, I must first say that I'm so sorry that that happened to you as a child, and thank you so much for growing up and sharing your story to help other people.
Well, thank you. It was a book that was always going to be written, and I'm so glad that I finally had the opportunity. And I'm so glad that the Indiana Author Awards acknowledged that book, because so many more people are getting an opportunity to see it.
Oh, it's just so great on so many levels. So this is just one of your books. You've written like almost 20. Have you written 20 now?
Yes, I've written 20. I've written 20. Um, I have had a really lucky and exciting career. I think that book is number 16. And what's great is that I've had the opportunity to write lots of different kinds of books. Obviously, All the Things We Do in the Dark, it's scary, and it's pretty deep, and it's very personal. But I also have a series for younger people called Camp Murderface.
Yes!
That I wrote with my friend Josh Burke, and it's funny and silly and a little bit scary. So I've had the opportunity to write so many different things. So it's been a great career. It's been a very exciting career.
With all of that said, where do you feel like you are in your creative journey? Do you want to just keep writing forever, or where are you at?
I do. I love to write. I love to tell stories. I'm working on my 4th anthology, which is a collection of stories. As editor, my first one was Defy the Dark, which is just stories that can only happen in the dark. But I've been super lucky to be able to do a special series called the Out series. The first one was All Out. The second one is out now, and the new one is going to be Out There.
Well, and I just have to interrupt you and tell you that those books are so beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautifully designed, and I think I heard you speak before about how you didn't really want a book that was going to out a kid just by having them carry it around. The design is great, and the collections in them are really wonderful. So yay!
Yes, they did such a great job on those covers. I can't wait to see the last one, because the first one was history, historical stories, and then the second one was current stories, and then the next one is going to be future stories. So I can't wait to see what the cover looks like, because they give it to you like a present. They're like, ta-da! And these have been great presents to open.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
And maybe one day, if the grown-ups are lucky, I will try writing a grown-up book. It's pretty hard for me, because my headspace is very much like 16 years old.
Well, I think that's all right. The 16-year-olds thank you for sure. Well, Sandra, I've been inviting all of my authors to share a little something for show and tell. Do you have something there to share with us?
I do, and it's a kind of an unusual thing. I have only had one dog in my entire life, and his name was Rooney.
Oh.
And he is a little Jack Russell Terrier. He was absolutely crazy, had all of the energy in the world. It was impossible to wear him out. And he's the only dog that I've ever loved. And unfortunately, at the very, very beginning of the shutdown, he started to get sick. And he passed away. And all of a sudden, I was at home all the time, and the house was so quiet because we couldn't hear the ticky, ticky, ticky of his nails on the floor. But the vet's office made me something really nice. Let's see if I can get that close there.
It looks great. Yep.
That is Rooney's paw print. They made a paw print for me of his little foot. And, you can actually feel the texture of the pads of his foot and see how long his nails were, because he hated to have his nails trimmed.
Aww.
And so, even though I have not had Ticky, Ticky, Ticky Rooney right here in my house, I do have Rooney with me. And, I think that's been really important, because, I haven't gotten to see my mom in a very long time. I haven't gotten to see the rest of my family in a very long time. But something like this, it reminds me that even though the people and the pets that we love may not be right here with us, they are always with us. If we can remember them, they're here with us. So that's my special object. That's Rooney's paw print.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm very sorry about Rooney. That's so sad.
I'm sure he is chasing and catching the squirrels on the other side now. I'm sure.
Maybe toucans too.
Oh, I hope not.
Me too. Aw. Well, Sandra, this has been just so great. I so appreciate you talking to me today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
This is kind of like going out for me. I got dressed up and I get to see a friend.
oh, I loved it. Well, thank you so much. And to everybody out there, this is your favorite Hoosier Toucan encouraging you to read local. So long, everybody.
Bye.